Well, I'm down at my range and doing a little fine tuning on the 39A. A while back I switched out this rear sight to the semi buckhorn that I like, which is what I have on that 1894 M22 Magnum. Now that one I didn't have to change the front sight; that was right on, which is great. And I've been slaying gophers with that pretty steady. I think it was four of them today. A couple of them just on the way down here. But the thing about that, 22 Magnum is a little overkill for a gopher. When I shot, he must have flown 3 or 4 feet in the air. It's a pretty good wallop for a measly gopher. So I thought I would sight in the 39A and switch that sight out. After I switched the back sight, I had to switch the front one because that's a really low sight. So I'm at a 37 now. My only problem will be I'm going to have to order in the 37 narrow. This is a narrow ramp on it. And when you put the wide sight on there, it kind of sticks out. The dovetail is the same, but it's wider. You couldn't get a hood on, let's say. I prefer not to run a hood, but I want to play around with those skeletized hoods that still let the light in, so that's my intention. But the one thing I was going to mention, when you're taking front sights or rear sights in and out, that's a tapered groove in there, that dovetail. They have to come in from the right side and go out on the right side. You can't, if you try to drive them all the way through, you're just going to enlarge that dovetail. That's where you have people that have got loose sights. It's because somebody did that at one time, had banged them all the way through. Or I have seen a lot of times what that's happened, and then they go and they will peen it, trying to make it tight again, or Loctite, or. So it's better to be careful in the first place. Drive them in one way and out that same way, always to the right. But like I say, I'm on the 37, but it's the 37W, and it works fine. And I'm sighted at 100 yards with that now. But that means I have to go and order in that narrow one to be on the safe side. And I kind of like to have a kind of a variety of those sights on hand anyway. Because what I try to do, I try to sight it in so that I'm on my bottom notch here. And then kind of fine tune it with the insert. They have that, that insert with the diamond in them. But I like to start out at that, at 100 yards. Well, then you can do adjusting to get range, But that's what it took, was that 37. I just got to go with the narrow. It's just only that you could bump it, and since them ears are sticking out, you could bump it over. But that's not too big a deal. I try to be careful with this gun anyway. That's kind of the reason I've been using that M model, because this thing I've had for quite a while, and it has been through hell, so it's beat up a little. I used to carry that on the horse and on the dog sled, and bounce around in an old Jeep that I had. So it's got a few battle scars on it. This 39A is in nice shape, and I hate to get it screwed up. Even carried in the gun rack a lot of times, if I put it in the back window, you always get that where it wears the bluing off, from running on that rubber on the rack. Yeah, you can touch them up and stuff, but I try to be careful with this one, only because, like I said, you can't get another one. Though that somebody asked me about that, about the 39A, what the value of them was. Well, they're overvalued now. I mean, they're a really good gun. They're about the best 22 you can get, in a lever gun especially. They're just perfection. But, it's still a 22. And when you start talking, crazy prices, I don't even remember what I paid for this one. I got it 2 or 3 years ago. But commonly I see them like on Gunbroker. It'll be like 300 for a beat up one, up to 3,000 for one of the collector centennial, their 100 year or something. So it can vary. But like I say, they're a very nice gun. And the thing about them is, they're a full size rifle. They aren't, like a lot of 22s are made really for kids kind of. They're a smaller size gun. These aren't, these are a full size rifle, which makes it handy. But I'm going to start carrying that because it's a lot cheaper to shoot than the 22 Magnum for this gopher plinking. But I'm going to have to carry it in this case, which is a good case in that it's got a lot of padding on it, and I can slip it out of there fairly easy. I've done some, I shot one, it was yesterday, with that little 22 1911 that Walter made Colt pistol. But that took 3 shots on a running gopher. Well, I was lucky to hit him at all, with a pistol, but really a rifle is the thing, and this is really like an ideal gopher gun. It's just that I have to be careful with it. I don't like the idea of, I see a lot of people have guns that are in immaculate condition, like the 300 Savage of mine at 99. It's in terrific condition. Well, you hate to beat something like that up, but I don't like safe queens. The whole idea that, when I see somebody who's got an immaculate gun, I just know they aren't doing any shooting with it because naturally, things get wear on them. If you're keeping your guns in perfect condition, I was kind of, but that's like the 99. I kind of hate to use it and beat it up. Like even this, like a scratch on this would bother me a little bit. That thing has got scratches on it, and that one stock has been pine tarred on it, so I don't worry about it. It gets beat around. Though they're somewhat rare rifles, still, it takes a good beating. But I would hate to do that to this one. It's either I got to learn to be careful with it, or I got to find an old beat up 39A. But you don't find them very often. Especially now that people are figuring out that you aren't going to get a new one, so you better people aren't, well, they normally don't go on the market anyway. If somebody has a 39A, they just tend to hang on to it, which is what they should be doing. I'm always surprised when one comes up for sale. I was surprised when I found this one, and I think when I got this one, there was another one there too. But that was in a lot rougher shape, and this one was like new yet. So, but for a 22, yeah, I mean that's the way to go. My other option, I do have that Savage folding block single shot 22 or Stevens, but that is, it's a single shot. But it's an excellent gopher gun. It's very, very accurate. But it's nice to have that second shot, if you need it. So I don't know. But I should take that out again too. But they're gonna even beat that gun up. And, gopher hunting things tend to get beat up a little bit. Or any kind of hunting. I mean, target shooting, yeah, you can be finicky with them, but when you're carrying them around, that's a different story. Well, There was another thing I was going to talk about. Somebody was saying, well, I got to be careful. I better not go into that now because if I'm going to put this on the Ghost channel, I'm limited to 15 minutes. If we run over 15 minutes, it won't upload. On the main channel, I can do it any length I want, so I'll have to look at this before I upload it and see how long it is. There's a way I guess I can get that changed, but right now that's what I'm stuck with is a maximum of 15 minutes. And I tend to go on. Even now, I should have a watch here and watch it so I don't go over. But yeah, if you see a 39A, I think he was talking about somebody had one for sale for like $700. Well, if the condition is halfway decent, yeah, I guess I would go for something like that if you have that much need of a 22. But you have to buy these with the thought you aren't just buying a 22 that you're gonna have and then get rid of and get something else. When you buy something like this, the same with that 4570 Cowboy, you buy them to keep them. That should never leave you and it should never leave your family. It's the kind of thing you buy to keep. It isn't just a commodity you're trading in. It always surprises me when people would say, "Oh, I had one of them and I sold it. Wish I wouldn't have." Well, you probably shouldn't have. But I don't know. People always want to get something new or fancier, flashier. But some of them old guns, they're just you can't replace them. So when you get one, you hang on to it. And the 39A is one of them. Like I say, that M model is more rare. I mean, there was quite a few 39As, though they were never. The thing is, they were always expensive from the get-go because they're a very, very well-made gun. For a 22, they're exceptionally finely made, so they were never cheap. You could buy other lever actions much cheaper. And of course, the 22 automatics just kind of took over the thing because they can hammer them out really cheap. So they sell them cheap. They're still cheap. But I really am not that big a fan of automatics. So I guess, well, I got a couple, but in a 22, you just blaze through ammunition. A lever action is plenty fast for me. Well, I better check. I'm probably running out of time. But I'll go into the other thing I was going to talk about and then decide I better not talk about, but I'll go into that some other time. But it was on somebody's theory on how to shoot a lever action that I got quite a kick out of. But, it's people and their theories. But I think I got this baby tuned in. I'm going to do a little more playing with it. I won't shoot it on camera because that's a no-no, kind of. And when YouTube in their attitude. But I do like that gun. It should be a good gopher slayer.